Good evening, and welcome to Mythic Rest, where ancient stories bring a little quiet to the mind. Settle in and let tonight's story carry you gently into rest. Take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who enjoys quiet stories, and subscribe to Mythic Rest. Your support helps us create more gentle journeys through ancient myths, timeless wisdom, and restful nights. You are walking through the streets of Alexandria at dusk. The Egyptian sun has just slipped below the horizon, and the sky above the city is streaked with colors that have no names in any modern language. Deep saffron and burning copper, and a violet so rich it seems to hum, a violet that deepens as you watch. Second by second, into the true dark blue of the Egyptian night. The heat of the day is fading, slowly, reluctantly, the way heat fades in a desert city, releasing its grip on the stone, and the earth and the air 1 degree at a time. And the air against your skin is warm, but not hot, comfortable, the kind of warmth that feels like a blanket being drawn over the world. The streets around you are paved with limestone and basalt, fitted together with a precision that makes the surface almost smooth, almost seamless, the kind of paving that the successors of Alexander built when they made this city from nothing, when they turned a strip of sand and a fishing village into the greatest metropolis the Mediterranean world had ever seen. The stone under your sandals is still warm from the day's sun, and you can feel the warmth through the soles of your feet. A gentle, steady, grounding warmth, and the sound of your footsteps is soft and rhythmic, a quiet percussion that accompanies you as you walk. As you settle into your own evening tonight, let that warmth be the first thing you feel, the warmth of the stone, the warmth of the fading day, the warmth of a city that holds the accumulated heat of 1,000 afternoons in its walls and its streets and its foundations, and that releases it slowly, gently into the cooling night. You are not in a hurry. There is nowhere you need to be except here, on this street, in this city, at this hour, walking toward a building that you can already see at the end of the road, its silhouette dark against the deepening sky. The people around you are going home. The shops are closing, their wooden shutters coming down over the narrow storefronts, the shopkeepers calling out last prices and last invitations in a mixture of Greek and Egyptian, and the trade, patois of a port city where every language in the known world is spoken somewhere by someone. A baker closes his door, and the smell of bread, warm, yeasty, dense, the smell of the flat loaves that the Alexandrians eat with honey and olive oil, drifts from the closing door and finds you and wraps around you for a moment before dissipating into the evening air. A woman carries a clay amphora on her shoulder, balanced perfectly, the way only someone who has done it 1,000 times can balance it, and the liquid inside it Wine, perhaps, or water from the cistern shifts and sloshes faintly with each step, a soft, liquid, rhythmic sound. You pass a small temple, one of the countless neighborhood shrines that dot the city, dedicated to a god or a goddess or a daemon, a local spirit, a protector of this street, this block, this corner. The door is open, and inside a single oil lamp burns before a statue, and the flame is small and steady, and the statue is painted in bright colors, blue and gold and red, and the paint is faded but still vibrant, still alive, and the smell of incense drifts from the doorway, a thin, sweet, penetrating smell that mixes with the bread smell and the salt smell of the sea and the warm, dusty, mineral smell of the stone streets, and creates something that is the smell of Alexandria, the smell of this city at this hour, a smell that you will not find anywhere else in any world or any time. And then you see it, the great library, the Mouseion, the Hall of the Muses, the home of all the knowledge that the Greek mind has gathered from all the peoples of the earth and placed between covers of leather and papyrus and stored in niches and cabinets and shelves in a building that is, as far as anyone in this age knows, the largest collection of written thought that has ever existed in the history of the world. It is not a single building. It is a complex, a series of connected structures grouped around courtyards and gardens and colonnaded walkways, all enclosed within the larger precinct of the royal quarter, the part of the city where the Ptolemies, the descendants of Ptolemy, the general who took Egypt after the death of Alexander, built their palace and their temple and their library and their museum and everything else that a dynasty of enlightened, ambitious, bibliophile kings builds when it wants to make its capital the intellectual center of the world. The walls are limestone, painted in places with frescoes that depict scenes from the myths. Odysseus on his raft, Orpheus with his lyre, the Muses on Mount Helicon. And the paint is fading, but still visible in the last light, and the columns that line the entrance are tall and slender and fluted, Doric at the base and Corinthian at the capital, a mixture of styles that is Alexandrian, that is this city's signature, the blending of traditions from everywhere into something that is from nowhere and therefore from here. You climb the steps. The stone is worn, polished by the feet of the thousands of scholars and students and copyists and librarians who have climbed these steps before you over the last 150 years since the reign of Ptolemy II, who founded the library and filled it with scrolls and invited the thinkers of the world to come and live and work within its walls. The stone is smooth beneath your sandals, and the wear is uneven, deeper in the center of each step, where the most feet have fallen, shallower at the edges, and the pattern of the wear is like a record, a history, a map of every person who has ever entered this building. And you are adding your footprints to the map now, joining the procession, becoming part of the record. The doors are open. They are wooden, tall, two-leafed, bound in bronze, and the bronze is dark with age and patina, a deep greenish brown, and the wood is cedar, and the smell of the cedar is faint but present, a dry, warm, woody smell that mixes with the incense and the stone and the sea and becomes part of the atmosphere. You step through the doors and the world changes. The noise of the street, the voices, the footsteps, the cart wheels, the animals falls away, cut off, as if a curtain has been drawn, and what replaces it is a silence that is not empty, but full, a silence that is full of the presence of scrolls, and the presence of thought, and the presence of the accumulated attention of 150 years of scholars who have sat in this building and read and thought and written and argued and wondered. The light inside is different. The sun is gone, and the interior is lit by oil lamps, dozens of them, placed on stands and in wall niches and on tables, their flames small and steady and warm, and the light they cast is amber and soft and alive, flickering slightly when the air moves, casting, shifting, dancing shadows on the walls and the floor, and the faces of the people who move between the shelves. The smell is different too. The cedar of the doors is here, stronger now, mixed with the smell of papyrus, a dry, sweet, fibrous smell, the smell of the reed that grows in the delta, and that is cut and peeled and pressed and dried and polished and written upon and rolled and stored. And that smell, the smell of papyrus, is the smell of the library, the smell that fills every room and every corridor and every niche, the smell of knowledge made physical, of thought made material, of words given a body that can be held in the hands. You are in the main hall. It is long and high, the ceiling vaulted and painted with stars, gold points on a blue field, the constellations as the Alexandrian astronomers have mapped them, the work of men like Aristarchus and Timocharis, and the others who have stood on the rooftop observatory on clear nights and measured the sky with instruments of brass and wood and water. The floor is mosaic, small tesserae of stone and glass arranged in geometric patterns that ripple and shift as you walk across them, the patterns suggesting waves and spirals and the interlocking curves that the mathematicians of the library study, the curves that Euclid described and that Archimedes explored, the geometry that underlies the visible world. The shelves are everywhere. They line the walls, floor to ceiling, and they run in rows down the center of the hall, wooden cabinets with niches, each niche holding a roll of papyrus, each roll labeled with a small tag, a syllabus, a strip of parchment, affixed to the end of the roll, bearing the title and the author and the catalogue number. The rolls are of different sizes, some thin, some thick, some so large that they require 2 hands to lift. And they are arranged by subject, by the system that Callimachus devised, the great librarian who catalogued the entire collection, and who divided all knowledge into categories and subcategories, and who created, in the process, the first comprehensive library catalogue the world had ever seen. Callimachus called his catalogue the Pinaques, the tables, and it was not a single list but a vast, multi-volume work that described every scroll in the library, organized by genre: poetry, prose, philosophy, history, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, geometry, law too, and within each genre, by author, and within each author, by work with a brief summary of the contents and a note on the quality of the text and the number of lines. The Pinaques ran to 120 scrolls. It was a map of human thought, a guide to everything that had been written and preserved and gathered in this place. And the librarians used it daily, consulting it the way a navigator consults a chart, finding the coordinates of a work, locating the shelf and the niche and the roll, and bringing it to the reader who had requested it. As you walk among the shelves, let your own mind become a library gently, without effort. The shelves of your memory, the niches of your experience, the rolls of your thoughts and your dreams and your knowledge, all stored, all catalogued, all arranged in the vast, quiet, interior architecture of the mind. You do not need to pull any of them down tonight. You do not need to read them. You simply need to walk among them, to feel their presence, to know that they are there, that the knowledge is there, that the memories are there, that everything you have ever learned and felt and thought is stored in the quiet shelves of your mind, waiting, patient, available, and that for now, for this evening, for this night, you can let them rest. You pass a reading alcove, a small, recessed space set into the wall with a wooden table, and a chair and a lamp, and a single scroll lying unrolled on the table, held open at each end by smooth, round stone weights. The scroll is a copy of Homer, the Iliad, from the look of the text, the familiar, rhythmic, hexameter lines that every educated person in the Greek world knows by heart, the story of the anger of Achilles and the war before Troy. The ink is black, made from soot and gum and water, and it is sharp and clear on the papyrus, each letter formed with care, the work of a professional copyist, one of the dozens who work in the library's scriptorium, copying texts by hand, letter by letter, line by line, scroll by scroll, a labor that is both tedious and sacred, the labor of preservation, the labor of ensuring that what was written by one mind in one age will be available to another mind in another age. The lamp in the alcove casts a warm, circular pool of light on the scroll, and the pool is steady, the flame undisturbed, and the light illuminates the text with a clarity that feels intimate, private, as if the lamp is reading the scroll too, as if the light is a companion to the words, a partner in the act of reading, and the warmth of the light, and the warmth of the words, and the warmth of the cedar, and the papyrus all combine into a single, unified, gentle warmth that fills the alcove and fills the hall and fills the library and fills the night. In an upper chamber, a scholar works. His name is not important too, or rather, it is important to him, but it is not important to this night, to this story, to the quiet, private, unwitnessed act of thinking that he is engaged in. He is one of the many, the dozens of scholars who live in the Mouseion, who are paid a stipend by the crown, who are given rooms and meals and access to the library, and who in return think and write and argue and discover, and the arrangement is one that has no parallel anywhere else in the world. The idea that a government should pay people to think, that thought itself is a public good, that the pursuit of knowledge is worthy of support. And the Ptolemies, whatever else they may be, whatever flaws and ambitions and cruelties they may possess, have understood this, and have built this place, and have filled it with people who do nothing but think. And the world is different because of it. The scholar's room is small. A bed, a table, a chair, a lamp, a shelf of scrolls. The window is open, and the night air comes through it, and the night air is warm and carries the smell of the sea and the smell of the garden below, roses and jasmine, and the sharp, clean scent of the cypress trees that line the courtyard, and the air moves the curtain faintly, a soft, intermittent movement, like breathing, like the room itself is breathing. The lamp on the table is bronze, simple, functional, and the flame is small and steady, and the oil in the reservoir is olive oil, and the smell of the burning oil is faint but present, a warm, fatty, almost food, like smell that is the smell of nighttime work, the smell of late hours, the smell of the mind that will not stop, that cannot stop, that is pursuing something through the darkness of ignorance toward the thin, distant light of understanding. The scholar is reading a text on the motion of the heavenly bodies. On the table before him are several scrolls, the work of Aristarchus of Samos, who proposed that the earth moves around the sun, and the work of Hipparchus, who catalogued the stars and measured the precession of the equinoxes. And the scholar is comparing the two, reading one, then the other, then the first again, making notes on a wax tablet, the stylus scratching softly, the notes small and compressed, written in a hand that is only for himself, a private shorthand, the language of a mind in conversation with itself. He pauses. He sets down the stylus. He looks at the window, at the dark sky beyond, at the stars that are visible above the rooftops of the city. The stars are bright tonight, the sky clear, the air clean after the heat of the day. And the stars are the same stars that he has been reading about, the same stars that Aristarchus and Hipparchus observed from the rooftop of this very building, and seeing them now, knowing what he knows, seeing them not as points of light, but as bodies, as objects, as things that have positions and motions and distances and relationships, seeing them through the lens of the knowledge that the library has given him, he feels something that is hard to name. A kind of vertigo, a kind of awe, a kind of quiet, private, overwhelming gratitude for the privilege of knowing, for the privilege of being a mind in a world that contains stars and texts, and the means to connect the two. As your own mind settles tonight, let that gratitude be a companion, not the grand, overwhelming gratitude that demands expression, but the quiet, private, unspoken kind, the kind that sits in the chest like a warm stone, the kind that comes from knowing that the world is large and the mind is small, and yet the small mind can contain the large world, can hold it, can think about it, can wonder at it, and that this capacity to wonder, this capacity to know, this capacity to lie in the dark and think about the stars is enough. It is more than enough. It is the thing that makes the darkness not empty, but full. The scholar returns to his work. The stylus moves. The wax fills with notes. The scrolls lie open on the table, and the lamp burns, and the night deepens, and the stars move slowly across the sky outside the window, and the room is quiet, and the mind is active, and the two, the quiet and the activity, coexist the way they always coexist in the life of the mind, the way they coexist in the library itself, which is both a place of silence and a place of the most intense, most passionate, most unceasing mental activity, the silence and the thinking held together in the same space, the way the body and the mind are held together in the same person, the way the night and the stars are held together in the same sky. The lamps are being extinguished, one by one, throughout the complex. A librarian walks the corridors, a young man, an assistant, his bare feet quiet on the mosaic floors, his hand steady as he lifts the small bronze cover of each lamp and pinches the wick between thumb and forefinger, and the flame dies and the smoke rises, a thin, white, twisting thread that smells of olive oil and carbon, and the darkness advances, one lamp at a time, one niche at a time, one corridor at a time, and the darkness is not hostile, not threatening, but gentle, natural, the darkness that comes when the work is done, and the mind is tired and the body is ready for rest. The main hall is dark now. The shelves are shadows. The scrolls in their niches are invisible, hidden by the dark, but they are there still there, the words on the papyrus still present, still intact, still holding their meaning in the absence of any reader. The way a sleeping mind still holds its thoughts in the absence of any consciousness, the way a heart still holds its blood in the absence of any effort. The knowledge does not disappear when the lamps go out. The knowledge rests. The knowledge waits. The knowledge is patient, the way all truly important things are patient. And it will be there in the morning, unchanged, unhurried, ready to be picked up and opened and read again. As your own lamps go out tonight, the thoughts that have been burning in your mind, the concerns that have been lit and kept lit by the energy of the day, the plans and the worries and the memories that have been flickering in the foreground of your awareness, let them be extinguished the way the librarian extinguishes the lamps, gently, steadily, one at a time, a small pinch, a thin trail of smoke, a soft advance of darkness. And the darkness that comes is not the loss of the light, but the rest that the light needs, the pause that the flame requires, the quiet that precedes the morning, and that makes the morning possible. The courtyards are quiet. The cypress trees stand still in the windless night. The fountain in the central garden, a small circular basin with a stone figure at its center, a marble muse, one of the 9, holding a scroll and looking upward. The fountain trickles softly, the water falling from the muse's scroll into the basin in a thin, steady, musical stream, and the sound of the water is the only sound in the courtyard. And it is a sound that is almost not a sound, almost a silence, almost a whisper, the faintest possible assertion that the world is still here, that the water is still flowing, that the night is still night, and that everything is as it should be. The library sleeps, the scrolls sleep, the shelves sleep, the mosaics sleep, the stars on the ceiling sleep, the scholars in their rooms sleep, their minds still turning, still working, still processing the thoughts they had while awake, the way the body still processes food after the meal is over, the way the heart still beats after the running is done, the way the river still flows after the rain has stopped. The work continues in the sleep. The thinking continues in the rest. The knowledge continues in the dark, and the building holds it all, holds the scrolls and the sky.